Ricky? Very good, Rick. Secretary Treasurer Alan Roy, please do roll call. We have a quorum. Next up is the agenda approval. I think that I talked about adding the land transfer referendum at the end. I know Kathy wasn't here, but we're adding the piece on that. So we'll bring it to the TEC. So. Would any of the reps like to add anything to the agenda?
Okay, I wanted to add on for District 2 and for the whole reservation, we're having a problem with the two committees for ICWA reaching out to Indian child welfare. And so I wanted to address that. Also, I wanted to address, I don't know if you have it on there yet, for the commissioner's report yesterday. Also, did you add those four things? You want to put it on there? Okay.
I really don't have
Nothing
No.
for next month?
What?
Okay, for next month then. It'll be for the casino commission. So that'll be added on. There's about 4 different types of things that have to be added that the RTC has to address. Besides ICWA, I think that's about all I got to cover right now. Thanks.
Very good, Kathy.
Elders coming up, I'd just like to bring on about the elders as far as elders in their serving. Right up there.
How's it?
No, District 1 for elders concerning the EMP program. Yeah, I would just like to bring up, to add on there on the elders portion about the EMP, as to what's going on with up in Rice Lake. Just heard about that yesterday, so I do want to bring that up today on the elders on the EMP part. So that's all I'd like to add on, Mr. Chair.
Okay, very good. So can I have a motion to approve the agenda? Motion by Kathy, second by Ray. All in favor? Motion approved. Next up is the RBC meeting minutes for 10/18/19. We have a motion to approve the meeting minutes for 10/18/19. Motion by Umzi Tibbetts, second. Second by Kathy. All in favor? Motion approved. Okay, we'll get into the report part of the agenda, and first up, is, of course, is myself, and I guess some of the stuff I'll talk about is, like yesterday, I was down at the protest down at down at the stadium against the Redskins and the racist remarks, and we got to march from PV Park down to US Bank Stadium, and there was when we finally got to the little park in front of US Bank Stadium, they had it was all set up stage, and there had to be a 1,000+ people there, and it was good. I mean, you had the Congress, Betty McCollum, our very own Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan was there. She did a very, very good speech. We had numerous amounts of dignitaries from across the state, from our fellow reservations. I know Charlie Vig and all three of his council was there, and it was good. I mean, it was really a good feeling down there to talk about this team and this sports logo that I know that's been kind of ongoing for many, many years. When it comes to Mr. Schneider and the owner of the Redskins, and that's what I know. It's been, there's a lot of stuff across the internet or across Facebook or social media, and in regards to his logo and what that means about when it pertains to our people, and when it comes to the sensitivity of that history, that traumatization that we went through at that period of being a Redskin, and the government paying for our scalps of our people across this country, and it does have deep wounds, and I feel like that this protest really meant a lot for all of us to come together and show and band together that we are making strong advocacy against this team and its logo. So I think these are the things that hopefully that in the future that we keep being strong as we were yesterday, with all the tribes that were there and all the organizations, AIM, and there's all these other groups of protesters that were there, and it was good, and we all got to talk, and we all got to get up there and do our how we felt about the whole protest. So it was good. That was one thing that on my report I was going to discuss, and the next one was meeting with the council here a few weeks ago, and one of the stuff that came out of the meeting was we kind of all agreed to like separation of powers when it comes to our school boards and our housing board. And I think these are the things that I think we're making big leaps, and I think we're making those steps to keep that distance, where we don't have to intervene and we empower our people. And I think these are the things that I feel like it's very important for us to, as council, to step away and empower our boards to handle those. And I think, and I think this is one big step. I feel like we're going towards, like same as the COT, they have their own board of trustees, and, we don't really intervene with them, or one of our charters. So this is, I think, the important part is us working together and creating these boards. I think is going to be monumental, and I think it's going to be good for all of us. I think it's good, positive. And the next thing I talk about is some of the stuff that we talked about. I know it's been brought up is like, the homelessness, and that's what's one thing I met with Director Ben Bemet about, and we have a variety of stuff that's happening right now with partnerships in Minneapolis to up here with the amount of calls and the amount of messages that we receive on a daily basis. We're bombarded with all of this, and it's like kind of stressing, and it's kind of, we have to worry about our brothers and sisters out there, because it's getting cold out, and I think it's important that the council, our council, works together, and we find solutions for our people, and hopefully we get, permanent solutions. We need to look at shelters. We need to look at, help, wraparound services. We need to look at other types of stuff, case management. We should be being, and I think this is where we're kind of moving forward with the council here is, trying to get more organized and moving forward with this. And I know we have a great group of employees that are helping us, and I feel like, there's all the tools are here, and we can get this done. So, Miigwech. Okay. That's my report. So I know the Secretary of Treasury report is next. So.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In addition to my report, I'm just going to add a section 3, financial inquiry. I do have a tribal member here that has a question that I would like to assist him with. Also, just this past month here, I did get reached out to by Kathy Annette with the Blandon Foundation. Yesterday, I was at a urban-rural divide meeting on how we can better assist folks that are living in rural areas, because there's a lot of resources out there. And so I was honored to be invited by Kathy Annette, Dr. Annette, the Blandon Foundation. It was a very, very good event, and I was very honored to represent White Earth. And there's a lot of good things going on there that I think we can continue to make a difference with. The chairman had mentioned that Minnesota Chippewa Tribe land transfer. I want to remind folks that this is something that White Earth has been working on for a very, very long time. This past summer, the White Earth delegation, tribal council members have been talking with other RBCs and tribes across the state on the importance of putting this to a referendum. This has been very consistent, and it's something that we care deeply about. And I'm very pleased to hear that the chairman is willing to sign on to that work. That is very, very important. Hopefully, we can get it added to the agenda. And so that's something that this RBC is committed to, ensuring that the people have a voice, that you, the people, have a voice in this matter, because that's who put us here. You are our bosses, and we answer to the people. And I'm very, very honored to represent White Earth Nation at the Tribal Executive Committee. The third thing that I also want to update on is the Elder Affairs Commission. We do have some elders sitting here in the audience. This is something that we have been working on all summer into the fall here. We want to make sure our elders are taken care of in the tribe. We want to make sure they have a voice in our tribal government and that they're receiving the resources they need. Our elders take care of our families, they take care of our children, they take care of our communities. I like to say that our elders are the backbone of our community, and without our elders, we are nothing. They have the knowledge, they have the experience, they have everything that it needs to hold our community together. And that's part of our tradition. And so I'm very honored to see some of the elders that we're working with in the audience here, and hopefully we'll hear from them later today. Moving on to the finances, we'll just go past the cover page. We'll go to page 3, section 1, quarter 4, for governmental activity overall from October 1st, 2018 to September 30th, 2019, the fourth quarter of fiscal year 19. Our combined revenue was $155.2 million, and our expenditures were $108.6 million. On September 30th, our cash on hand was $59.2 million. However, $57.2 is considered other governmental funds. $39.5 of these funds belong to behavioral health, and our general fund was $2 million. Collectively, our expenditures during this period were $100.86 million. Other governmental funds were $90.2 million, and the general fund was $18.4 million. And now these are unaudited preliminary numbers, and they're subject to change once the audits are finalized. For the Behavioral Health Department, the preliminary numbers through September 30th, 2019 show revenue of $51.8 million and expenditures of $39.9 million. The net income from the program was $11.9 million, which resulted in $39.5 million in cash and bank. The difference between cash and net income relates to cash carryover from prior year's operation and current outstanding bills as there are accounts payable. And for gaming, consolidated revenue for Monoman, Bagley, and all the other gaming revenue for quarter four ending September 30th, 2019 was $118.5 million. The consolidated expenses through quarter four was $106.7 million, and consolidated net income was $11.8 million, with the majority coming from Monoman, which was $10.1 million, and Bagley earned $1.7 million. Now, we budgeted $120 million of revenue and $111.3 million in expenses for a budgeted net income of $10.7 million for fiscal year 2019. Actual numbers for fiscal year 2019 were $118.5 million in revenue, $106.7 million in expenses, resulting in a net profit of $11.8 million. Revenue was $3.5 million lower, expenses were $4.6 million lower than budget, resulting in net income being $1 million higher than anticipated, which was budgeted. Shooting Star Casino cash on hand for September 30th, 2019 is $23 million. The cash on hand at the close of the last fiscal year, September 31st, 2018, was $19.5 million. After Shooting Star Casino capital improvement projects and transfers to White Earth RBC, cash has grown $3.5 million. The Bagley Casino continues to experience increased revenues and net income. For fiscal year 2019, the property earned $10.5 million in revenue with expenditures of $8.8 million. Bagley Casino has a net income of $1.7 million. I want to remind the audience and the RBC that these are unaudited preliminary numbers and they're subject to change as the numbers are finalized. Moving along to section 2 for fiscal violations and recommendations. As everyone may well know about the behavioral health issue with the Minnesota Department of Human Services, the Minnesota Senate has scheduled an October 30th, 2019 hearing for the related Office of Legislative Auditors report. The BAN has been requested to provide comment. The Behavioral Health Department will provide a draft of a, well, before I continue on with that, that OLA, the Legislative Auditors report is coming out on Tuesday. And so we're going to have our attorney and our Behavioral Health Department take a look at that report. And I know we do have TEC on Tuesday and Wednesday next week, so we may have the attorney or another representative of the tribe go down there and provide comment if needed. The Behavioral Health Department will provide a draft of a proposed business plan with recommendations for departmental changes no later than November 2019. Now, this is because of the changes that DHS has implemented related to its billing structure. It was last reported to the RBC that the department is running a $2 million monthly deficit. Unless we make changes, we've got to reorganize the department in some way. And so we're asking the department to come forward with that plan, present it to the RBC and to the public so everyone is aware of what's happening. For audits, the continuing approved September 5th audits will be consolidated and reported to the RBC with recommendations no later than December 27, 2019. For the check, there's no significant changes to report. The recommendations is just that, as I said, the director and staff attend the hearing and issue an approved response, and that we discuss those departmental changes at the RBC level and with the public. I do appreciate the time, Mr. Chairman. As I said earlier, it's quite the honor. Hopefully we can get that Elder Affairs Commission finalized for public review and comment, and so we can better serve our people. And I almost forgot, I do have Mr. Keyser. Mr. Keyser, are you here? Derek? Did he step out? Derek, are you here? Appears he stepped out. He has a financial inquiry related to a winning thing that he had at the casino. Apparently, he won he won a jackpot, and he wants to know why he wasn't paid out on the jackpot. So that's something I'm going to officially file in my report, and I will report back to him. Other than that, I do appreciate the time, Mr. Chairman. I will be followed by the district representatives.
Bonjour, good morning. Good to see you all here. See me glitch for you all being here today. You know, we've been a very active council, and I too would like to thank the chair for adding in the TEC on this land resolution, as we have been pushing for to get that to a referendum vote. We have been against this land resolution since day one, and hopefully we will get this to a vote from the people. I think that's where it should come from in the first place. And as the chair said, you know, we get a lot of calls daily. And I know with the cold weather coming here, I have been called a lot. And I have been referring people to our programs. But I know sometimes it's hard because they have already used the programs and this and that. But some way or another, we do find ways to come up with help them. And I say me grits to our directors for that, because that's how we get things done. Sometimes we have to overextend to help people out, but a lot of furnace problems going on right now. But believe me, we are dealing on it. And I'd just like to say I apologize to District 1. I know I've been traveling a lot here, but I have just gotten back. I've gotten my level 3 commissioner training done now for gaming commissioner. I'm very proud of that fact, because now I'm now a certified gaming commissioner on there, and I've learned a lot about our gaming commission, how it runs, how it works. Very exciting to be a part of that. But as I said, you know, we are active. We are continuing to work out on different things, work this and that. And like the chairman said, you know, we get a lot of calls, even on travel. Get a lot of calls, but that's part of our job, and that's what we do to help our people out. And that's, I see me good even to the people for calling on me to help them help. And that is my job. Me good to you all for being here.
Oh, yeah. I want to thank everybody that showed up, and it was a good turnout over at the casino for all the District 2 reps for Nadawash, Monoman, and White Earth. So we're only missing a few, and we're going to do it twice a year, meet with each other and try to see where we're going and what we're going to be doing. And I want to thank housing, because housing has really helped our communities go forward. So I appreciate that very, very much. You know, we're still paying off, you know, the Harvest Fest, and we're working towards that. Right now, I thought it was a very good, you know, except it was so cold. The only one who really made out for vendors was the blanket guy selling the blankets. I know I bought one, but it was nice, really nice powwow and feed. So I'm grateful for that. And we're going to be moving forward. We do have a lot, you know, and I'm glad that you brought up BNP, you know, and we'll talk about that later, you know. So I'm really excited about that and hope we get it straightened out. Other than that, District 2 is rolling right along, you know. So I see the construction for the boy, excuse me, I was going to say Boys and Girls Club. Well, maybe I can, but move them over. Anyhow, I'm really thankful for the other programs that help each other, you know, and it's what we need to do. We got to help. We got to step forward, and we got to get working together. My big concern, of course, like always, is a new clinic for all our people, you know. And I really hope this goes through. This is what we're working on right now, but I'm hopeful. I'm very, very hopeful. I know we're having some problems with our alternative medications that we have right now. It's kind of up in the air, but we're going to be working with them. So thank you for all being here. You know, it's really nice. I thought it was at 10 o'clock. I thought I was early and coming at parking lot's full. I blame Ruben. So thank you very much. And here's District 3.
I would just like to add one thing on there that I forgot. Yesterday, at our gaming commission, we did pass the deal for the committee councils. So our bingos, I know our committee council pretty active up there, and they are getting their background done and they are getting everything done. So hopefully bingo will be starting here soon in Rice Lake again. Well, four communities have put input that we have agreed to pay for to get their audits done. That's the only thing that was holding up. And now we are paying for the backgrounds and everything for all of them to get checked out so they can start their bingos and hopefully they get going. I know the people in Rice Lake and District 1 are waiting for that.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming. First of all, I'd like to take a moment of silence for all of our community members and tribal members on the reservation that we've lost in the last year. Oh, which I haven't got much to report since the last report. We're still working on the economic development, working on the carbon credits thing, and now I'm going to start trying to get to our legislative body here, out in the state here. I'd like to get some of this 160,000 acres of Whiter State Forest turned back over to Whiter here. It's within our boundaries here, so a lot of it is state land, and I think we should have control over that. Not much going on really in my district. Pine Point, new building over there, is people are finally starting to get moved in there, I think. Right, Lisa? We're getting some furniture over there for them and stuff, so other than that, that's about all I have to report on, guys. Thanks for coming here today. Be safe out there hunting. Hunting season over this weekend, so you guys be safe. Be good.
Okay. All right, back to the agenda. The division reports, we'll have Monica Hedstrom come up.
Good morning, everyone. Al, could you go up too? I have updates on the Pine Point demo burn, the Gordon driveway request, the Elkhorn easement issue, and I brought staff with in case there's a lot of questions for that. The demo burn, Al, I'd like you to give an update on the investigation to where we're at with that right now.
Yeah, being that it's a investigation and everything, I can't elaborate too much on it, but just to let you know that we are working on it, and I can't make a decision or anything like that based on possible violations until I get all the information from the different departments.
Then Ed will give an update on the sampling procedures that will be going on.
Okay, just a little step back here. When the former Pine Point School was demolished, previous to that, they sampled for asbestos-containing materials. White Earth contracted with Brown Intertech, and there were 42